Welcome back, this is Strat, and this is episode 4 of my Zombies weapon ranking. In these videos, I will continue to judge weapon effectiveness based on multiple factors to help determine their scores. Since these weapons are being graded on their individual performances, I will only allow the use of my knife and grenades to assist them, otherwise everything will be dealt with on their own. With that out of the way, we can now cover our 4th World at War weapon, the M1A1 Carbine. The M1 is our first non-starting room weapon, and its damage and stats reflect that quite well. The M1 Carbine is a semi-automatic marksman rifle, similar to that of the Gewehr. It has a base damage of 120 per shot at basically all ranges. Also, like the Gewehr, it shares the same headshot multiplier, however the torso multiplier is stronger in the M1's favor. However, due to the weird headshot multiplier, the M1, just like the Gewehr, is prone to creating headless zombies. This occurs when a zombie takes a headshot when very close to death. This is still a good way to make some extra points if you're patient enough before you knife them. Do keep in mind though that even without a head, they still function the same as other World at War zombies and will push and grab you if they please. It is important to note that the M1 Carbine really doesn't have any notable weaknesses, as it does have a good magazine size, decent reload, and great damage for an early weapon like this. Oh, and I really do mean no weaknesses, as even against it is able to hold its own quite well against the first round of dogs, even taking one less shot to kill than the Gewehr. That, paired with the 15 rounds per mag, allows you to kill each dog individually as well as time reloads when needed. The M1 in my eyes is the definition of a jack of all trades. It can do just about everything at every range. It doesn't do it perfectly, but it does it good enough to keep you alive. If you also add both double tap and speed cola to the weapon, it can last you well up till round 10 just fine. Alright, so now we know what the base Carbine can do. Let's take a look at the pack-punched version. When the M1 Carbine is packed, it turns into the Widdershin's RC1, which is a hybrid weapon that fires full auto. This changed firing mode also comes with an increase in RPM, effectively making it do damage way quicker. A keen viewer may also notice that now the damage and body multipliers are exactly the same as the Gewehr when it's pack-a-punched. Similarities in damage does not equal similarities in playstyle though, as both these weapons are used in very different ways. The Gewehr rewards accuracy with great damage and also good ammo conservation that keeps you from having to buy ammo too frequently. Whereas the RC1 fulfills more of a burst damage SMG role that doesn't really need accuracy to excel. Unlike the base M1, the RC1 has a glaring weakness in the form of its small ammo reserves. You are only allowed to reload this bad boy 10 times before being forced to go back to the wall buy and shell out 4,500 points. Like most automatic weapons, you're not going to be hitting every shot, meaning that the points you get back from this weapon will be low compared to something like the G115. To that, most would just say to time out your shots to make every single bullet count, and this is a good idea. However, in the later rounds, there becomes a bigger issue that I'm sure you're all aware of. When the world didn't need or want them, they returned, and man, they're just as annoying as ever. Because the RC1 is full auto, it actually isn't that hard to take out a dog if you just kind of mag dump it. The problem is that you have to mag dump it. I need to reiterate that you, again, only get 10 reloads with this gun, meaning that using one whole mag on a dog or two dogs means that you just lost a tenth of your ammunition. If you get bad RNG on the mid-round dog spawns, you will not be able to make back the 4,500 points needed to get ammo. All this being said, you are going to have a secondary weapon in basically every single case, meaning that you'd have another gun to get points with if you needed to. It's rare to have a gun that kills dogs well, but uses so much ammo that it kind of screws the weapon over. If anything, the gun becomes way more hampered by its ammo usage than how much damage it does. As it does so much burst damage, you're never really gonna have a problem with killing one zombie at a time. This is especially true if you're training efficiently and you're hitting 3 zombies with 1 bullet, which effectively triples your damage output and DPS overall. The combat loop is also easy to keep consistent, as it doesn't require you to stop for very long between shots, as you're going to be shooting your entire mag within like 2 seconds. Actually, 2 seconds is a wild understatement, as it feels like you shoot this gun faster than it takes you to reload it with Speed Cola. So now I can say that we're clearly aware of the strength and weakness of this gun. It puts bullets down range insanely fast, and also drains your bank account insanely fast. There's a meme that everyone knows out there that describes the situation perfectly, but I can't really remember it and I'm not looking it up. Anyway, now that we've seen both the base and packed version of the M1 Carbine, it's time to score it. The first category to rank this gun is debatably the most important, and that is peak performance. Because the M1 and the Gewehr are both single-fire marksman rifles, I'm going to rank them the same way when it comes to peak performance, that being what round it stops being a 3-shot headshot. While the M1 has those 5 extra bullets the Gewehr doesn't have in its magazine, the extra rate of fire from the Gewehr does allow it to be a little bit more useful up close. Based on that, I think it's still fair to base it off of 3 headshots to kill. And for the M1, the last round it is able to do that is round 11, so 11 points. Unfortunately, the M1 going full auto after getting pack-a-punched means I can no longer rank it as a semi-automatic weapon, and instead it's more of an SMG. However, even that doesn't work, as the gun has less ammo per mag than an SMG, but also more damage per bullet, meaning that it really doesn't fit into one particular box. So after coming to the realization that I can't rank this gun conventionally, I decided to choose my own way to do it, and in that case, I'm going to be basing it off of its ammo and how fast it runs out. If you reach round 30 using this gun only, from then on out you're going to have to buy ammo at least once per round if you don't factor in power-up drops. This is actually quite okay, as it's usually not too big of a deal to have to go get yourself some ammo. You can probably just teleport and you'll be just fine if you keep all your zombies alive. The true problem begins on round 34, where the gun starts taking 5 shots to kill 1 zombie even if you hit all headshots, which is not ideal, clearly. The bigger issue is now you have to go get ammo at least twice per round, and this starts becoming an exponential problem with how much health the zombies get every round. To better understand this, we can look at the numbers that are associated with this. First, we can take a look at the ammo of the M1 Carbine when it's pack-punched, which is 15 plus the 150 in reserve. Assuming you have decent luck, you'll get about 4 Hellhound spawns every single round, and since it takes about 1 whole mag to kill a Hellhound, you'll be out a good 60 bullets already from the rip. If for this scenario we are on round 33, it is the last round the gun will still take 4 headshots to kill, meaning we can effectively divide this number by 4, and that is how many kills you'll get with it. If the number looks low to you, it's because I haven't yet factored in the collateral damage. If you do hit 3 zombies with every single headshot, you can effectively triple this number to get the actual amount of kills you'll get if you don't miss any shots. Now, round 33 has 122 zombies, 118 if you minus the 4 dogs from before. That means you're going to have to get ammo at least once, like I said earlier. However, the second it becomes round 34 and this thing takes 5 headshots to kill, that number is just awful. You have to do it at least twice, and then I think by round 37 you have to do it at least 3 times to finish the round if you don't get any power-ups. So I did all that math and calculation so we could come to the fact that round 33 is this weapon's peak performance. The next category is a weapon's ease of use, or how difficult it is to use the weapon effectively across multiple strategies. This gun loves making me do more work, as for the first time this series I have to split up the ease of use ranking between the packed and unpacked version. If you're confused to the logic behind this decision, you'll see why in just a second. The normal carbine isn't too hard to use, but it is still a precision weapon, meaning that to get the most out of it you have to hit headshots consistently, and that is not something that's super easy to do for everybody. However, the weapon has decent mobility and pretty good mag size to make up for any missed shots, so that does kind of pick up the slack here. With that in mind, I'm going to give the M1 Carbine an 8 out of 10, as I don't think it's too hard to use, and the torso multiplier means you don't have to be absurdly accurate to make it work. For the Widdershins RC, this gun's about as perfect as it gets when it comes to using it effectively, as there's no wrong way to use it. If you want accuracy, just burst fire it. If you want DPS, just hold down the trigger with double tap. If you don't want to aim the gun, just hip fire it. If you omit the ammo problem, this gun is just so easy to use that before round 30 there's no zombie you can't kill by just spraying them down. So it is with great happiness that I award the Widdershins RC1 the first 10 out of 10 for ease of use. For the overall ease of use score, we'll just go ahead and take both these numbers and divide them by 2 to get the average, which is 9 points. The next category is the weapon comparison, where we compare weapons of similar point values if they're wall weapons, or similar use cases if they're box weapons. Like I had shown in my previous video, it's the Gewehr versus the M1 in this weapon comparison. And just like last time, the M1 beats the Gewehr in every way except for fire rate and where the weapon is located. In this category, I gave the Gewehr a 2 out of 10, so it makes sense to give the M1 an 8 out of 10. The last category is based on how efficiently a gun can save you when you're trapped by one or more zombies. And just like with ease of use, I have to separate the two versions of this gun, as one is way better at keeping you alive than the other. For the M1 Carbine, I'll give it a score of 5 out of 10, as if you're using it on the rounds where it's still pretty good, it shouldn't be too hard to kill a single zombie, but trying to kill more than one, especially when they're phasing inside of you, is a hard task. For the Widdershins RC, if this is before round 30, it is very easy to take out 1, 2, or even 3 zombies if you're trapped in a corner and they're all clumped up. This earns a gun an 8 out of 10, and when you average the two scores, it's a 6.5 overall. After adding up all the scores and with no point deductions, the M1 Carbine comes out to a high and respectable 67.5. If my memory is right, which it usually isn't, but I think in this case it is, this should be the highest scoring gun at the moment, and should probably stay that way for a couple more episodes. Or who knows, maybe it won't. But either way, thank you very much for watching. This has been Strat, and I'll see you next time on my Zombies weapon ranking. Ciao!